Hi, cuties. My name is Amy, and get ready to dive into the drama that is my life. A real-life soap opera that even Shakespeare would have loved to write. But first, hit the like and subscribe button. Now we can start. You know those apparently perfect families where the father is a smiling, rich businessman, and the mom is a lovely housewife who does everything for her two blonde, pink-cheeked, perfect-teeth children? Yeah, me neither. Ever since I can remember, in my life, it was only me and my mom, Margot. My mom loved me, but when it came to my dad, she made every effort to delete any trace of him. And she did a darn good job. Mom, I was wondering if my dad...
What dad? Here, have a bag of candies.
It was always like that with Mom. Have a bag of that. Or keep this sock of chocolates. Or look, that marshmallow looks like Grandma Teresa. So, instead of finding out anything about him, I just gained a lot of weight. Eventually, I stopped asking. Even my mom understood that something was off with me when instead of playing with our neighbor's kids outdoors, I spent all my time locked in my room reading books alone. At some point, she must have thought that I needed a father figure, which was true, and decided to get one for me. Unfortunately, her dating life was so disastrous that it probably made Cupid consider early retirement. For real, it was the same thing over and over again. It went like this.
Amy, please let me introduce you to insert name, my new boyfriend. We love each other so much.
Of course, 2 weeks later, there we were, indulging in a second bowl of ice cream and watching Titanic, with her sobbing uncontrollably on my shoulder. Jack, take me with you.
We were supposed to stay together forever.
Mom, you met him like a month ago.
The best month of my life.
But honestly, my mom had a PhD in ruining her relationships. All of her boyfriends had a lifespan shorter than a goldfish's memory. She would get bored of them and then do something to sabotage the relationship. And then, magically, it was always their fault. Antonio the chef seemed like a perfect candidate because who wouldn't want a dad who can whip up 5-star meals? But then...
Can you believe it? He left me alone all night to go to a restaurant by himself, choosing puff pastry over me.
Huh. Mom, he works there. Then there was Marcin. I thought a cop would keep us safe, right? But
I was expecting a rose or diamond, but he
gifted me a police scanner. And Philip, I always dreamt of a dad who could always make us laugh, but
he couldn't stay serious for 10 minutes straight.
Well, today, he's the world's most famous comedian. I was already abandoning the idea of having a stepfather when my mom came back home one day with a new surprise. This time, though, I felt something was different, and I was right.
Here, love, this is Ben. Benjamin, this is my daughter, Amy.
What a lovely fairy I see. Am I welcome into your manor, my fair maiden?
That man was not like the others. Ben looked older, with such a fine white beard and mustache, and those small round spectacles that made him look like some woodsman from old stories. In my mind, a dad had always been similar to him in appearance. Surprisingly, Ben actually became a father to me, and he really knew how to show me his love. Like that time when I got an A+ in mathematics, and Ben recited a poem he had written for me.
Here is the smartest of my muses, the shiniest of my lights, a new Pythagoras in disguise.
Nobody had ever appreciated me so much. Or that time, December 16th, when I came back home after a full day at school, only to find the hall full of fat-bearded guys, and Ben in the middle of them shouting toward me.
Surprise! Happy birthday to our fairy!
Those were Ben's friends from the War Games Club. I didn't expect any birthday celebration because Mom had always forgotten it herself. But now she was there too, right in the middle of them. Could Ben have changed her so much? Ben, I have no words.
It's only my duty to make you smile, my fair maiden.
I hugged him the strongest I could and started crying like a baby. Sir Benjamin, I love you. I had finally found a father after 10 years of my life, and we were like a real happy family. It felt like a dream. And like in every dream, at a certain point, I had to wake up. A few years later, Mom started receiving strange phone calls in the middle of the night. She would pick up quietly like a thief and go to the bathroom to speak as any guilty teenager would. Once, I caught her coming out of the bathroom with a suspicious smile on her face. Who was it?
Oh, just some friend. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry? I make a living out of worrying. I knew something was wrong. The calls suddenly stopped, but the signs were still there. Why would Mom be sending herself those goofy bouquet cards decorated with plastic roses?
Can't I buy nice things for myself?
Not to mention the gold-sprayed aluminum ring I found she was wearing out of the blue. After a life of hating rings and necklaces.
It's just part of my midlife crisis.
Or the giant heart-shaped balloon we suddenly had in the main hall, glittery as a disco ball and red as love. Or hell.
Wrong address. Or maybe the wind brought it here.
Yeah, like I'm that dumb. Then one morning I was sick at home, searching in my mom's bedroom for her laptop, ready to consume my eyes and on yet another Harry Potter marathon. Where is it? At the old laptop. What is this? There was a letter on my mom's nightstand. Strange. I haven't seen the postman in a while.
My love, I'm like a lost sock just looking for its match.
Ew, so cheesy. When Mom got back home that night, I confronted her. How could you do this, Mom?
Amy, I can explain.
Ben is the only dad I have ever had, and you're betraying him.
If you would only let me talk, please.
I don't want to listen to you anymore, Mom. I'm tired of you and your... MSA won't let me say the next word, but you can imagine what I mean. I wasn't gonna let her ruin our relationship with Ben. I had to act fast. So the next day, I went to confront that homewrecker, getting his address from the letter. I rang the doorbell nonstop. Open up!
What the?
The man was about to blow up, but when he saw me, surprise filled his eyes.
Please, come in.
That mysterious man looked like a retired rock star or an extra from Pirates of the Caribbean. He invited me inside his great villa, which was full of instruments. Look, whoever you are, my mom's with someone else. Just leave us alone. Don't mess up our lives. I've barely found my dad, and you?
What if I told you I'm your real dad?
His words hit me like a mute button.
I was eager to meet you again, but your mom thought you weren't ready.
Of course, he could have been lying, but somehow I knew he wasn't. My father disappeared when I was a child.
Amy, I'm really sorry. Things got messed up between your mom and me back then, but I'm here now, and I want to be part of your life.
I was left completely speechless. My mom soon joined us. Mom looked truly happy after all those years. She told me she hadn't connected with anyone else because she wasn't over Dad and only wished for him to stay with us. Of course, I was thrilled about having my real dad with me again, but then a sudden doubt fell upon me like a spaceship out of fuel. But Ben,
He already knows everything, and he still wants to be a part of your life. We can be a big family.
so just like that, I went from having no dad to having two. You would think it's like winning the lottery twice, but not quite. I felt overwhelmed and with a great weight on me. Before, I didn't have to worry about disappointing anyone, but now I had two dads who had high expectations of me, and let's say they weren't too fond of each other.
Luke, lower the volume. Amy's studying.
Oh, just jamming out, man. Rockstar practice, you know?
Oh, wow. But I thought rock and roll had been dead for a long time.
Good music never dies. Besides, aren't you obsessed with knights and things from hundreds of years ago?
Oh, absolutely. But unlike your music, knights never go out of style.
Come on, guys, if you really think about it, rock stars and knights have a lot in common. Like, both loved leather and dying young, but while some wore armor and swords, the others used guitars and a lot of hairspray. That made a lot more sense in my head. Soon, things went even further south. One day, they forgot to pick me up, and I had to walk home in the middle of a storm. When Ben saw me, he went mental.
Luke, you were supposed to pick her up. I asked you to do one thing as I had an urgent appointment.
Oops, I totally lost track of time making these cookies to surprise her. Come try one, honey.
As I reached for a cookie, Ben sprang into action like a movie hero, dove over the couch in slow motion, snagged it from my hand, and sent the whole tray flying.
These have peanuts. Amy's your own daughter and you don't even know she's allergic to peanuts, or you just don't care.
I don't even want to remember the fight that followed. Can you imagine two gunslingers in front of each other, ready to open fire at the slightest movement? Well, it was kind of like that. The constant fighting became a part of my life. I realized that this was affecting them as well. Ben looked more deteriorated and tired than ever, and my dad seemed constantly anxious, as if he was hiding a big secret. On my first Christmas with my new family, they dove into a full gift duel. The prize of it wasn't a juicy bounty, but my love.
Dear, I got you, Ozzy, your new puppy.
Are you serious? I got her Lady Godiva, the most majestic kitten in town.
Aw, thank you guys. I love them both so much. Of course, getting double presents was quite fun, but soon my new pets were casualties of the parents' war. Lady Godiva was given away to our neighbor's children by my dad after he definitely saw me sneezing with her nearby. It was mid-December, by the way. A few days later, someone shaved Ozzy completely, making him a pink bear with a black nose.
Oh, that's horrible.
Nobody ever found the mysterious culprit. Then it came, December 16th, my birthday again. My dad must have known what Ben did on my last birthday and decided it was a good idea to outdo him at his own game. So he called all of his musician friends to blast a birthday party rock serenade for me.
To my beloved daughter, you all, the people of the world, rock! This song is for you!
But then, right before the concert started, another group of people appeared. Vikings, Romans, Celts, who Who knows? They were an army of guys dressed for a historic recreation, waving toy spears.
What is all this, Ben? There is a time for peace and a time for war, Luke. Men, be ready!
Someone sounded a war horn, and my birthday soon became like the final battle of Avengers Endgame. But instead of aliens and superheroes fighting, I had cosplaying history nerds versus elderly musicians incapable of accepting the passage of time. A clash for the century! After watching the battle for a bit, I went home all set to blow out the candles and dive into the cake. But I found my so-called perfect family in the middle of a loud argument.
What are you even doing here, man? Amy's with her real parents. She doesn't need you anymore. This whole uncle situation is bizarre.
That's true. Explaining it to people is a real pickle.
Say what you want, but I've been her father longer than you.
Well, he has a point about that.
Her father? A history nerd with a Willy Wonka mustache? You must be joking.
I don't think Willy Wonka has a mustache. My mother's mediation skills are truly out of this world.
Why don't we let her decide then?
Oh no.
Yeah, she's old enough to decide who should be her dad.
No, I am not! Mom, you are my last hope. Please stop this madness. Maybe that's for the best. Thanks for nothing, Mom. So, that's how it is. You're piling your responsibilities onto me? Why can't you guys understand? I want both of you in my life. But if you can't handle that, I'd rather have neither than choose between you two. I was ready to storm out, but then my dad said something really strange.
Are you happy, Ben? This was your master plan? First you found me, then you invited me to your cosplay parties and made me realize that I should get back with Margot. Why did you do all that if you didn't want me here?
Everybody's eyes went on Ben at those words. Mine too. What was all that about?
You're absolutely right, Luke. I shouldn't be here at all. I'm really sorry, Amy.
Then Ben darted away, leaving things abruptly. What the hell is going on? I ran after Ben, just in time to catch him while he was already at the park, gasping. He doesn't look too good. He fainted the very next moment. Ben, what is going on? Are you okay? Ben! We rushed him to the hospital, and a few hours later, he woke up.
I guess my plan didn't run as smoothly as it did in my mind.
Why did you do all this, Ben?
My heart is breaking, Amy. Literally. The only thing keeping it together is you. I would love to be with you forever, but the doctors made it clear it's impossible. When I found out, I immediately sought your dad and asked him to come back. I wanted someone to be there for you, after me. But then when I saw you and him together, I got so jealous. I thought you'd forget me for good.
I already had tears in my eyes. Again, I could barely force myself to speak. Ben, I will never forget you, and you are not leaving me at all. I had no idea you did all this. Luke didn't tell me anything.
Yes, because I asked him not to. It was a secret quest, eh? Like the ancient knights did. I did it for Amy, Margot. I had to. I'm sorry for lying, but...
Cough made it impossible for Ben to go on talking. I just hugged him so hard, as if trying to protect him. A few days later, Ben came back home with us, and it was as if he and Dad were two totally different persons. They put their jealousies and fights aside and became something like best friends. Dad even helped and cared for Ben throughout his illness. One night, when they thought Mom and I were sleeping, I overheard them talk.
I will never be able to thank you enough for bringing me back to my family. What you did is just...
It's okay, Luke. You're a great man. I'm just happy you are in Amy's life. You both deserve each other.
They hugged before wishing each other goodnight. I went to sleep with the biggest smile I had ever worn in my entire life. Now, a lot of time has passed, and a lot of things have changed. I'm not a child anymore, and my groom is in front of me, waiting for my yes, I do. Mom and Dad are by my side, happily together and smiling at me. And even if I can't see you in the same way, Ben, I know you are here too, sitting silently between the seats of this splendid church and looking at me with your peaceful gray eyes. You are as real as the photo of you I have inside of the pearl-shaped necklace I always keep by my heart. As I have promised you, I never forgot you, Ben. All that you did for me, from your silly poems to the way you tied my shoes, you will always live with me. You'll always be my guardian angel, and I, Amy, your fair maiden.